Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I'm not here to convince you that there is a cover-up. I am here to simply ask whether a series of unanswered questions and conflicting statements creates the appearance of a cover-up. And I'd say yes. So let's go down the rabbit hole, fam, shall we? Like, what are some of the things that people consider that are inappropriate or that could actually point to a cover-up, right? So what about poor communication, mistakes, withholding evidence, withholding information? I'll take the evidence out. I'll say it ain't no evidence. So I'll say withholding information, right? Conflicting public statements or intentional concealment, right? Intentional concealment. All of these things. But wait, there's more. What about the sheriff? The sheriff saying initially, before reviewing the body, before looking at any type of report, he ain't got no information from the detectives, and he says it doesn't appear to be foul play. How in the hell do you know if there's foul play involved or not? How do you know if you ain't did an autopsy? How do you know if you don't even have a toxicology report? You ain't even got witnesses. You see what I'm saying, fam? See, sometimes the appearance of a cover-up grows because people stop getting answers. When law enforcement goes silent, right? People stop getting answers. Law enforcement goes silent. When witnesses go silent, when witnesses scrub their social media accounts, when witnesses somehow, some way return the dead guy's phone with all of his messages and photos deleted. I want to show you something, fam. I want to share a video with you. These are the only people involved in this Nolan Wells case whose story has never changed.
So that day, no, I don't. But of course, too, they were on the boat. And usually when he is out there, which it's not uncommon, he's, I think, since last year, he's been going there occasionally with his friends. And so it would always just be like, hey, Mom, I'm back, type of thing. But this time there was no call or text from him. It was from his friend.
And then, too, really didn't worry a lot about it because, it was his last weekend to have fun.
Yeah.
Because that Monday he had to report to school. We was preparing to take him back for camp to prepare for the season. So, we're gonna see. He wanted to have his last hurrah before he locked down and get ready for the season. Because, like I said, the entire summer he's training. He got more serious. He started to understand what I was trying to tell him about football, not just being fun, but as you get farther in it, it becomes a business. If you want to excel, you have to understand, and you have to understand both at the same time.
And we know, Ben, that you said that you're going to do an independent investigation.
Yes.
And you say you have Nolan's cell phone and messages were deleted. How could you tell messages were deleted?
Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they tracked this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima, and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. They played city league sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, like, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. Like it had, I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like I'm not, he's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it. And that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was going to stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents were telling us about, even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Yeah, so there are so many questions that need to be answered. And is there anything you'd like people to know about Nolan? What would you like them to know?
I want to say it ain't just the history of Mississippi. Specifically, it's the history of Mississippians. It's the people who live in Mississippi. The state of Mississippi didn't kill Nolan. A person who lives in the state of Mississippi, who was in Mississippi, killed Nolan. It's the people. It's just like when people say, man, this is a messed up world. No, the world is beautiful. The world is kind. The world is loving. It's the people who are evil. This family has been consistent in wanting transparency. They've been consistent in wanting accountability. They've been consistent in wanting answers rather than assumptions. They've been extremely consistent.
About your son.
No,
It's okay.
Nolan, take your time. Nolan was very loving. He was liked by all. It was not a friend that he couldn't make.
No, we'll be right back with more for the parents of Nolan Wells and attorney Ben Crump. We're back now on GMA with the parents of Nolan Wells, Christina and Elmore Wonsley. And I want you to please continue to tell us what you want the world to know about your son.
So Nolan was just like this bright light, right?
I'm going to skip over this, fam, because you've heard family talk extensively about Nolan and his character. What I'm trying to do is get down to the parents' character.
And he knew he was focused on what he wanted. And he wanted to, even his baby brother, their bond got even stronger because now.
Nothing, no saved videos, which is how long videos. Finally got his phone. Me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos. Like there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael,
you know.
we're having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
Well, we really appreciate all of you being here. We hope you get the answers that you deserve to have, and we hope you get the closure that you need.
Okay, so fam, let me just drive home this point. The family has consistently asked for transparency, accountability, right? They want answers, not assumptions. They're willing to go, and they've said this, in the direction that the evidence leads them. So why is it that the family of the murder victim, okay, y'all say he didn't get murdered, okay, the family of the deceased, why is it that the family of the deceased is being harassed and given false reviews online? But that's not happening to the other side. It's not happening. Yeah, you might get one message or two messages or something, but I'm talking about being bombarded. Why isn't anybody review bombing the good doctor, Bart Edmondson Sr.? Why isn't he getting review bombed? See, what this tells me is that you got one side who is behaving very aggressively and suspiciously, and then the other side who is just saying, hey man, we're going to stick with what the law say, and we're going to keep everything positive. We ain't about to tab nothing. You know, Christine Wonsley, she even said it. She said, hey, y'all, you know, support, we appreciate you. But in so many words, she was like, don't come over here acting a fool now. We don't need all of that. If you love Nolan, you know Nolan wouldn't want that, right? And so people have been respective. They've been respective of that. But the other people on the other side who say they support the other side have been behaving like their side is guilty. Because if you're innocent, well, you don't behave like that. And here's something, a question I haven't heard asked yet. If your side is so innocent, if the boys, Nolan friends, are so innocent, if they're so innocent, why aren't they telling the people who are harassing the family to stop harassing the family? I haven't heard one family member say, stop harassing them. I haven't heard the mothers, the fathers, none of the friends tell anybody in the public who's allegedly harassing them, who's allegedly who's allegedly not harassing them. Say, stop harassing. Just don't do it. If you're doing it, don't do it. We don't need that. It makes them look guilty. They think they're helping. But what it does, it makes them look guilty. But that's what bullies do. Bullies gonna bully. Bullies are usually in the wrong. Bullies are usually the criminals. They're the bad guys. So they think they're helping their cause, but they're really not. They're really making them look even more suspicious when they go and attack Christine Wonsley, and they go attack Elmore Wonsley and they attack Nolan Wells's character. They making the other side look even more guilty. And they're making the people who support Nolan Wells go harder in the paint for him. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.